Steelers take command and lead in the AFC North. Really good game against the Ravens. I mean, it came down to JT missing 2 field goals. I mean, he's kind of, I don't want to say he's washed, but he's past his prime. And then Derrick Henry, like, when's the last time we seen Derrick Henry fumble the ball?
It was like 1,500 days, right?
2 years ago.
Yeah, it's like damn near 1,500 days. That's crazy.
It was the luck of the draw. I mean, Steelers been on a roll. I mean, they were winning games with Fields, but obviously, you know, when you make a change, when you get a real quarterback in the lineup, then you see what happens. They take a lead in the AFC North. It hasn't been that good. I mean, the Ravens are a good team. Bengals, no. Browns, no. And honestly, like the teams that they've beaten, the teams that the Steelers beaten aren't like world beaters. They won against the Falcons, which was cool. I think that was the first game of the season. Broncos, Chargers weren't looking like the Chargers earlier in the season.
The Broncos wins looking better and better.
But the Broncos at the start of the season just was not it, especially when Bo Nix was playing the way he was playing. They lost to the Colts when the Colts weren't good. They lost to the Cowboys. And then the other team, their wins, Raiders, Jets, Giants, they had a dogfight with the Commanders. The Commanders are pretty good, and the Ravens are good. So, I mean, I don't want to say the strength of the schedule has been bad, but I wouldn't say it's been good. But the AFC North has been good. So,
can I ask a quick question? So I don't mean to interrupt, but this kind of made me think about it. All three of you guys, who would you guys have more confidence in going forward? The Broncos or the Steelers?
Steelers.
Okay. Just making sure.
Defensively, am I crazy for saying?
They're both great.
But defensively, you have a top 5 defensive unit, and then now you have a quarterback who can like actually throw the ball. George Pickens has been great. Najee has, I would say he's came into his own. So I don't know. The offense is looking way better with Russ at the helm. And yeah, so it's I don't know what to say because the strength of schedule just hasn't been that great. But yeah, they've been pretty good. I can't hate it.
Well, the question for this segment is: do we view the Steelers as contenders after they beat, what we think is a good team in the Ravens? What we think is a contender in the Ravens? And I would say no. I don't think
they won. They won 2 straight games against 2 good teams.
That's fine, but I don't think the Steelers are contenders. They're not. They're a hell of a team. They're a good team. They're very well coached. They have a great defense, but their offense, I'm not trusting that come playoff time. Their offense is okay, to be honest. Like,
what do you need?
It's okay.
What do you need? What do you need? What do they need offensively?
Offensively, a better quarterback.
Playmakers.
Russell Wilson is not that, bro. We got to be serious.
You don't even. I'm not gonna lie. You don't need a world-beating quarterback. You don't. Especially when you have a defense that is performing like the Steelers' defense performs, and then you have a run.
Listen, I'm not trusting Russell Wilson. I'm not trusting a Russell Wilson-led offense against Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson come playoff time. And I know the Steelers get the Ravens trouble, but I'm not gonna lie. Come playoff time, I'm betting on the Ravens. I'm sorry. I know Lamar isn't that good in the playoffs. I'm still just I don't know.
Cool.
I'm not doing that.
Cool.
Listen.
Over
the Steelers' offense is not
a 9-1 Chiefs. That's cool. Cool. You won't take them over.
That's what it has to do. That's what it has to be contenders. The Steelers are good enough to get a playoff win, and that's about it. They're not going to the conference championship game.
I did say that a couple weeks ago. I said they had the chance to host this game, and I got shit on by Latif Love. And again, I can't.
They're not winning the playoff game. I would bet that. I would bet that they're not winning the playoff.
I said they host a playoff game. And I was
cool. They're not going to win one. I don't think they are. But they have the ability to.
What's your ceiling?
Yeah, for sure. Like they just their offense is not good enough. It's not. It's Russell Wilson can give you the deep playability that Justin Fields can't, which is what we've seen in this offense. But the offense You act like it was just on, bro. They just played one of the worst defenses. They just played one of the worst. They just played one of the worst defenses in the entire league and put up
that's cool.
18 points and 6 field goals. That's not a good offensive performance. It's not, bro. They went against the Jets, who have been terrible since firing Robert Saleh. The Commanders' defense is not good. Like, so they've been beating good teams, but
I already brought up the
flaws defensively by a lot, bro. The Jets have been one of the worst defenses ever since they fired Robert Saleh. It's fell off a fucking cliff. So
I've already highlighted the strength of schedule. I don't know what you think you're doing by saying.
So why? So wait. Do you think they're contenders, Jaden?
I don't know. I don't know as far as saying that they're contenders, but I think the teams that you're naming, I think they have a chance. I wouldn't just say, oh no,
they're not beating the Bills. They're not beating the Bills.
We don't have a chance against any of the top 4 teams in the AFC. I don't know why we're doing it.
I think
with a great defense and a mid quarterback.
And I like the Ravens. I like the Ravens, but what do you mean they can't beat the Ravens? The Ravens are defensively.
In all fairness, I did pick the Ravens. I picked the Steelers to win this game. I think that was kind of like the Steelers beat them in the regular season. It's at home. I think it makes sense. I might even pick them in the playoffs just because Lamar in the playoffs has that whole trope. But the Steelers just play well against the Ravens. I don't think they beat them.
Nobody outside of Latif argue with that. I was there with you. I
100%. You smiled because again, when he said that they just, I don't think they beat them.
Sorry,
I agree.
I would rather.
I don't think the Steelers beat. I don't think they beat the.
Nobody should ever just have blind faith in Lamar Jackson and the to win, just win a playoff game. That'd be just losing your heart instead of looking what you see. I don't really get to be honest. Like your opinion don't really matter to me because I know that this is my team. I watch them. You don't really know the nuance of what really goes on in these games. You're talking a whole lot of Russ with they could contenders, and you saying don't take them over these teams that you're supposed to be trying to put them up against, but they're not going to beat those teams. We done seen them. We done seen the Chiefs walk down this still at the time good defense, and walk them down in the playoffs. I watched the Bills beat them twice in 2 different playoff series. I watched them do it with bad offensive performances. They're not a good team. They're cool through the regular season. Huh?
They're a good team. They were not great.
I mean, I'm talking about in the playoffs, that's a bye. You could go into that game. No, they're not going to put up no real points against the playoffs, and you're going to not skate by, but you're going to get out there and you're going to see the next round. The Steelers are just what they are. They're going to be a 10-11 win team, probably win a division. They're probably going to lose their first game in the playoffs. That's pretty much how this is going to go. They're not contenders.
When it comes down to coaching, when it comes down to defensively, I'm not going to lie, it was a few times where they the packages. Oh, pause. Hold on. The packages with Justin Fields, if you use that a little bit more, especially what play am I thinking about? What am I thinking about, bro? I think
4 snaps a game with Justin Fields going for about 8 yards is not gonna suddenly make them contenders, bro.
I'm just saying,
make the offense better.
I don't think that you have to have just I shouldn't say elite off. I would say that their offense is good, especially now that you have somebody who can take shots. And you can bring somebody in.
The offense hasn't been good though. Just because they take shots don't mean the offense good. On a down-to-down basis, they're still not a great offense, and he still can't hit the easy stuff.
What do people think of Najee as a player last year compared to now?
I think he's been the same player, 1,000-yard back. People underrate Najee, and then when it looks okay, people like you overrate Najee.
I'm saying I didn't overrate him. He's an above
average back. He's 1,000 yards. That's it. He's not nothing special.
I'm saying though, I'm not asking about your perception. I'm just saying what has the perception of the masses been about Najee from last year compared to now?
That don't mean it was correct. That don't mean it's not correct. He's an average back. When people underrate, they usually decide to overcorrect and then start saying things that aren't true to get away from the previously wrong take. That's usually how that happens. When in all reality, he's just been in the middle. That's usually what happens when people be wrong about certain things, certain players, certain teams. You got to overcorrect to counteract being wrong originally. He's average.
No, he is average. Okay. When did Russ come back? Week 7?
Week 6.
Yeah, 6. I think that was against the Jets, wasn't it?
Yeah, week 7 was the Jets. Yeah, he came back week 7 because they played the Giants week 8. Then they had a bye.
I'm trying to look at that EPA per play since week 7. In that game versus the Jets, they were 5th in the entire league EPA per play because they had a great game against the Jets. Week 8, did they have a bye?
No, they played the Giants.
EPA per play. Let's look.
In that game, Russ tried to throw the game, tried to fumble the game away in the last
13
like 2 quarters.
Week this is week 9 right here. This would have been against who? Damn, I can't even find a team. This was their bye, week 9, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then week 10, I know they were in the middle of the league as far as like EPA per play. All right, as far as how successful their offense was, they were 17th. Last week against the Ravens, EPA per play, 18th. Their offense is like literally like I would say around 17th to 18th in the league. It's not good. It's probably average. It's average. I'm not gonna lie. Their offense is average. They have a okay run. They have a okay to good running game. The passing game is not great at all. Bro, like look at their weapons. Look at their personnel. Mike Williams is not a good receiver. Let's be serious. George Pickens is good.
It's really just Pickens. I'm not gonna lie. It's really just Pickens.
Okay then. So if they had one weapon, they have one weapon. George Pickens.
That's what I was trying to stress that before.
Najee Harris is average. Jalen Warren is okay. The offense line, like been better this year.
I was trying to stress that before. They don't have X factors. They don't have playmakers really besides George Pickens. Like there's not someone out there who's gonna like change the game on the offense side of the ball. Like they got to kill you slowly, and that's about it. Chris Boswell, I guess, is an X factor at this point in time, but they really don't have any X factors on that team.
That's like their 3rd best offensive player.
That's what I'm saying. Like again, if you go up against a team like Kansas City, like again, Buffalo, like you need playmakers to go out and like consistently make plays. Like you need a Lamar, a Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? You need guys like that who are going to go out and like make plays for you. And I just don't think anyone does that besides George Pickens.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. If we see some more packages with Fields, bro.
We stop. All right, can we start with that?
I'm not playing, bro. We see some packages. We see some packages with Fields. Obviously, the deep playability with Pickens. He catches anything and everything. And then like Najee has been playing good, bro. Like I'm not saying that they're like some elite unit offensively, but I feel like they could get it done. And then you have an elite defense. Like they can make stuff shake. I'm not gonna say that it's impossible that they beat the Ravens beat the Ravens.
No one. That's it.
All right, bro.
You said that. You said you're taking the Ravens. You said you're taking.
I will. Yes. All time, I would take the Ravens, and it's not based on. I know that they're a hard matchup.
I don't know what it is based on. I
know. I'm saying I literally already said that. I literally already said what it was based on. I said I'll happily be wrong on that. I know they play the Ravens tough. I know Lamar Jackson playoff resume isn't the greatest, and I know they have a great defense. But again, we just saw them in this like these orientations of the team. Where this like it had that game was a 2-point game, and the Ravens played terribly. Like they played terribly. Like hella turnovers.
Field goal away. Missed field goals.
2 field goals, and they barely won. Like, come on, bro.
You can say that. You could say that, but then on that same side, the Steelers they couldn't cash in on none of their red zone chips. So if they cash in 2 of those red zone chips and make them touchdowns and not field goals, now it's a blowout.
How's their red zone offense been the entire year though? Is that a consistent theme, or what are we seeing?
Yeah, it's not great, but in this specific matchup, using for like the Ravens, and it's gonna sound like I'm not trying to hate on my team, but using the Ravens, what they do against other teams to justify what could have went like right in this game doesn't track because nothing in this specific matchup ever works like that. It's always the same exact type of game. Like that's always going to be that kind of game. You're never going to see a Ravens Steelers game that's different than the one that you saw yesterday. Every single game happens just like that. Receivers dropping balls, that happens every single Steelers game. Drop touchdowns, drop pick, that happens every single Steelers game. Missed field goals, that happens every single Steelers Ravens game. Like that, it's consistently the same. So using outside evidence to try and change this matchup just doesn't work because it's the same matchup After you do it 3, 4, 5 times, it's just the same thing. That's just the trend.
That's fair. I do think they play them tough.
I don't know, bro. I think
I'm saying my point is, like, could they beat the Ravens? Yes. Would I be predicting it going into the matchup? No, I'm not doing that. No.
Sure, I don't think nobody would.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I just don't. What I'm saying is there's no real logical explanation other than we know for a fact Lamar is better than Russ, and it usually comes down to quarterback versus quarterback when it comes to playoff games. Quarterback versus quarterback, coach versus coach. The coaching edge you get to Tomlin, but the quarterback edge you massively give that to Lamar. Just when the stakes are highest, that kind of gets skewed a little bit. But I still would take Lamar over Russ in a playoff game.
They're more explosive offense too, and that's usually what you're doing.
It was just a terrible day for kickers yesterday.
Bro,
Justin Tucker just hasn't been good for a year and a half.
That's no.
The fall from Tucker's wild.
I don't want to throw him last, but he missed. I think he missed like a 47-yarder.
He missed two.
Russell Wilson had 205 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception against the worst ranked passing defense in the league last year.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Yo, aren't the Titans 2-8?
What does that got to do with me? You want to check the defense and stuff because you keep using strength of schedule. It's been a whole season now. You can't keep using that, bro.
Yeah, that's another thing I meant to say. In week 11, using strength of schedule, you got to throw that out because that doesn't even matter anymore. The next 6 weeks ain't really going to change what happened the first 11. Like, it's just pretty much going to be the same thing.